Hello, welcome to today's immigration tidbit. Okay, well, by the J1 being under 212E, what that means is you can neither change nor adjust your status until one of two things happens. One, you leave the country for 2 years, or two, you get a waiver granted. So the short answer to your question is no, you cannot change to visitor visa or to B2 while in the US if you're subject to 212E. That would fly in the face of the whole purpose of 212E. Remember, 212E is meant to allow you essentially to come in easier. Because I can guarantee you didn't have much problem getting the J1, right? And the reason for that is that when you come into the US, you're supposed to leave, take the knowledge you gained with you, whether it's through an internship, whether it's through school, whatever it happens to be through, and then use it in your own country. That's the purpose. So they make it easier to get in, but they make it harder to change or adjust or do anything other than what you're supposed to do and then leave. That doesn't mean you can't apply for a waiver. Even if you fell madly in love with a U.S. citizen, you're still not going to be able to adjust status until you leave for 2 years or until you get the waiver. And then there's the issue of preparing the waiver, getting it there, and then determining if you're going to go out of status or not, because they don't just return an answer yes or no very quickly. They take time to adjudicate it. So if you think you're going to be applying for a waiver, you should do it sooner than later. Okay, so there's time for them to adjudicate it without you worrying about going out of status. So the fact that you're asking if you can apply for a tourist visa while here in the U.S. Another thing also, you can't get a visa while inside the US. Okay, the moment you take one step inside the US, the Department of State no longer has control over the situation. It's USCIS. And USCIS deals with your status in the US, not your visa. You use the visa to enter, and then from there changes to your status. So right now, if you recall, when you entered the US on a J1, you were given, and it's actually done electronically now, but you were given an I-94. The I-94 states how long you can legally stay here. Now with a J1, generally the I-94 will say D/S, duration of status, which means as long as the J1 program is valid, that's how long you can stay. Okay, you obviously know how long the program is because your J1 will come to an end once you finish it. The fact you want to change status, that's the correct terminology here. The fact that you want to change status to B2 indicates you're probably coming to the end of your J1. So the only thing you can do when it's subject to 212E is you can actually file for an extension of the J1, or theoretically you can get another J1 from another employer or company that wants to have you become an intern. That is a possibility under a J1 subject to 212E. So, given that, don't wait too long to either file for the waiver or know that you have to leave for 2 years.